Hello friends, I'm Shalini Bharadwaj. You all are watching ITV Networks Medically Speaking. So today we are going to discuss about oral health and dental education system in India. We have with us on our panel Padma Bhushan Dr. Anil Kohli, who is a former president of Dental Council of India. Dr. Anil Channa, who is a member of Dental Council of India. We have with us Dr. Vikendra Yadav, who is a Associate Professor Dental Sciences at AIIMS. We have with us Dr. Shweta Verma, who is a Senior Dentist at AIIMS. All of you, sir, welcome, ma'am, welcome to our show, Medically Speaking.
Thank you, Shalini.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you very much.
So my first question goes to Dr. Anil Kohli. Sir, why oral health, why it is, at neglected side, we can see this?
The oral health is the integral part of the general health. But unfortunately, it has not been given enough importance in our country. When it comes to the oral health, it comes as a last priority. But in today's world, when our average life is increasing from 40 years to 65 years or 70 years, we need the good teeth to eat for a better health. And in the elderly people, the dental problems are more. So, as we are a developing country and we are a young nation of a young people, so we have to give the importance to the oral health. Not only for the health purposes, but only in working. Most of the girls are coming to the working now, both husband and wife working. If you don't have a good personality, if you don't have good teeth, you are conscious of yourself. So for the overall development and overall esteem of a person, oral health is very, very important in today's world.
Sir, how poor dental health can affect our health?
Now, that's a very good question you have asked, and it will be very informative for the common man to understand. When you have poor oral health, it can affect your system in different ways. Let me talk about, like, if you have a poor oral health, the bacteria can travel into the bloodstream and it can lead to the bacteremia, which can be a problem for the heart disease or atherosclerosis, that is considering the heart. Then when the bad oral hygiene is there, your lungs can be infected and your things can be bad with the system because we have the poor air quality, we have a lot of pollution, so it can lead to that. The most important is diabetes mellitus, where we have. In that also, it affects very badly. Then is the kidney disease, then the dementia, the brain problem, then it comes to the poor pregnancy. So there are so many things which are affected, but unfortunately, these things are not known to the common person. So it is very important to have a good oral health for a overall health of a human being.
Dr. Anil Channa, my same question goes to you, sir, that why oral health is so important? Why does it matter?
Actually, oral health is being ignored from so many years in our country. But I'll congratulate my minister, who is a very upright person, and he has an ear for our profession. So whenever we ask for a time, and he always ready to give us that time. We have discussed that why not oral health policy should come in India now, it's a high time. So he assured us, and I am telling you that the oral health policy and the oral health care is now on the board. People are working on that, draft is already prepared, and our basic emphasis, basically, the equality should be there, integration, community participation, gender, prevention, and the promotion of oral health care. That is what is very, very important.
That's important.
And the effectiveness and the efficacy of a delivery of oral health is not only, the private sector will work into that, the public, the private sector and community participation is also very, very important. As Dr. Kohli said, what is, the problem is persisting in our society especially for the lower population area, downtrodden area. If you go there, So people don't have even a denture extraction and just forget about it. So can you imagine when the patient is edentulous, he cannot eat properly. And the diabetes type 2 is very, very common in those patients. So we have a serious burden on a healthcare system on our society. So if we take care of all these things, and if it reaches to even the poor people, if you see the oral cancer, if you see the airway problem, you have a serious systematic illness, all are, the first diagnosed by a dental surgeon. So why not? These policies should come forward, and the ministry is working on that. So I hope that very soon we have a oral health policy, and all these treatment policies will go to the lower people or the poor people. That is what we are aiming for, that the prevention and the efficacy and effectiveness of the delivery system should go to the villages. So that is what we have preparing the draft. And as soon as it will come out, Minister is all set to bring that oral health policy, and it will give you a benefit for the entire society and for our entire country. So it's very, very important that we should have an oral health policy, because so many things. If you see even the dental caries, it starts from the mouth, but it's an irreversible chain. Other diseases can be treated, but the dental caries cannot be treated. So it's a burden. We have to remove that portion of a tooth. And then, other diseases also, as Dr. Kohli said, the endocarditis, and so many things. From everything, it starts from the mouth. And we are the primary people who diagnose where the disease is starting, even your systematic disease. So we have an oral manifestation anywhere in your oral cavity, and the dental surgeon was the first who diagnosed these things. So should given importance to the dental surgeon at the primary level, at the primary center, so even the systematic illness can be diagnosed properly, and we can provide a treatment for being a dental surgeon.
Sir,
we can,
how it is going
refer
to
the
benefit
patient to
patients?
the other specialty people.
Sir,
Yes.
how it is going to benefit patients?
I have told you once, the edentulous patient, that we'll give a policy that the fabrication of denture at that level, so that nobody will be there without denture. So he can chew a proper tooth. If the cancer, oral cancer, the precancerous lesion can be diagnosed in the beginning, so that, we can control it at the early stage of a disease. The sleep order is there. The sleep apnea is there. So that can be, diagnosed by a dental surgeon on an orthodontist. So that we have a, very limited impact on the society. If you see the craniofacial deformity, cleft lip, cleft palate, from the beginning, the child is born with a deformity. So we should have that, specific policy that the poor people can get a treatment there. And we have improved the quality of a society. And those kids who are born with this deformity can be treated immediately. Burning mouth is there, so many problems. So that can be diagnosed at the early stage, and it can be treated at that level. So that way we can improve the oral health for the entire country if we have that policy in place.
Sir, when it is expected to get implemented?
Very soon. Now the draft is raising and the committee is already there. And as for being executive member of the Dental Council of India, we are working on that. We are working with the ministry so that as early as possible, even the AIMS people is also working on that. So as soon as the policy draft is already there, as soon as it will pass by the ministry, it will be implemented, I think, very soon. I think our minister is very active. Even he is helping that the oral health policy should come immediately in our country. So I hope very soon, within few months of a time, I think it should be in place.
Dr.
Shalini, can I add here something?
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
Shalini, your question was how it will benefit the common man.
Right, sir.
There is a saying, prevention is better than cure. And in human body, dental structure is the one which doesn't have a self-repair. Like if you have a cut, it will heal up. If you have a broken bone, it will unite. But when it is a tooth broken or tooth loss is there, it cannot be regenerated or it can be self-repair. It has to be either to be taken out and to be replaced with the artificial means. So if you prevent, because most of the dental disease are preventable. So if they are diagnosed early, as Dr. Chandna said, the you may not need to cure if you give a proper guidance of brushing and eating habits and other thing. And then we may not end up with the serious diseases, which can be the after effect of negligence. Number one. Number second question you raised, why it is neglected field. So it is neglected because overall expenditure on the health in our country is less than 2%. It used to be only 1.3, now it has gone to 1.7 or 8%. But still, if you look into the whole body, the priority for the government or any hospital, if it is a heart disease, is a eye disease, is a cancer, other things, they give the more importance. So it is the most neglected field, oral health. But it has the major effect on the human body. So until unless we raise the budget for the oral health, the things cannot improve. I give you an example. Like we have country of 1.4 billion and we have more than 3 lakh dentists. And how many government jobs are there? Not less than 10,000 people, those who work in the government hospital. Rest everything is in the private sector. So we have to bring the awareness in the school level to prevent these diseases to become a major issue for the country, for the nation to cure them.
That's very important, sir. Dr. Vikendra, sir, I would like to ask you, what is the link between oral health and immunity?
Oral health, as Dr. Kohli said, that it affects the body as a whole. And there is a saying that mouth is the mirror of the body health, right? So when there is dental problems, basically in gum problems, or whenever there is pyorrhea, there is inflammation and swelling in the gums, the bacteria, as sir said, they travel into the bloodstream. So it affects the overall immune system, immunoinflammatory response, I can say, that is generated into the body. So in patients who have dental diseases, and particularly those which can go down into the body through the bloodstream, so it can affect the immunity as a whole of an individual. So that this dental diseases, they should be prevented at earliest, because most of the gum diseases and the dental diseases, they are painless in the initial stages. Or if I say pyorrhea, so it progresses to the advanced stages, and till then also it is painless. So patient, they usually do not seek for the treatment, and eventually their teeth fall, right? So in those cases, if the immunity of the patient will be compromised, if the patient is not taking care of his oral health, if his oral health is not proper, he will not be able to take the diet properly. So that will also affect the immunity to some extent. So oral health, I think it should be, or patients should be, or the common man, they should be aware of how to take care of their oral health. And the most common thing is the regular checkup of regular dental checkup, which most of the common people, they are lacking. So if they visit regularly to the dentist, so most of the dental diseases, they can be prevented or can be treated at early stages.
Dr. Shweta, what is dental anxiety, and can you give us few tips?
Good evening, all of you. Dental anxiety is basically, there's something people are reluctant to come to the dentist because there is a common perception from the very beginning, since the childhood. दांतों के डॉक्टर्स बहुत दर्द करते हैं, इंजेक्शन लगता है. Plus, even parents are also very reluctant because there's just not full awareness. They just feel, first thing is, first of all, when a patient normally comes to the clinic, it comes with a pain. So when he or she is already with the pain, the procedure, involves some kind of injection, or that creates an anxiety. So the first step is awareness. Like what we are studying these days are, there's a common misconception that milk teeth are not important. सब लोग यही सोचते हैं कि दूध के दांत हैं, टूट जाएंगे, इनकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, नए तो आने ही हैं. So that poor oral hygiene maintenance practice in infants, in children, or in school kids, these create a foundation for people to not take care of their teeth, brushing twicely, and if there are any caries or there are stains, they are not giving any importance to that. So whenever they
Awareness
feel
is very
pain, then they
important.
come to the clinic. And yes, and when they finally come with the pain, then the procedure involves some kind of injection or pain management. So what I think is the whole oral hygiene education system should start from the very beginning. Even when a child is born, a mother should be educated to tell take care of the gums of the child. The first teeth comes at 6 or 7 months, and the mother doesn't know how to take care of that teeth, how to take care of the gums. They don't feel important, that this is important. So these things start from the very beginning. Mothers should be educated on after delivery, that how to take care of the gums,
And
the
at
teeth.
what time brushing should be started?
Then brushing, at very early stages. So brushing or cleaning, cleaning of the gums should start from day one, because the child is breastfeeding or bottle feeding. So we have a very common caries pattern in nursing bottle caries. So when as soon as the first teeth comes, after few months they start decaying, because mother is not cleaning those teeth. So brushing or cleaning we should begin from the very beginning of gums and teeth. And as soon as the child is capable of following instructions, you have to rinse, you have to spit, you have to take this brush, take it as a toy, अपने दांतों पे आप ऐसे से rub करो. You can set an example for the kids कि आप morning or evening brush कर रहे हैं. If parents are following these kind of protocol, kids will automatically follow. You don't have to dictate them much. They will follow whatever the parents are doing. So let's make a fun activity. Brush twice a day. People will, children will, they will love to do this, because it's a kind of fun thing. So brushing twice and taking care of milk teeth. Then once a year आप dentist के पास एक checkup के लिए follow up के लिए जाएं, so it will cost you nothing, hardly $100 or 200 in a private clinic, or in government much maybe less. So once in a year, अगर आप health checkup के लिए जाते हैं, अपने blood test के लिए जाते हैं, make it a habit कि आप dentist के पास भी साल में एक बार जाएं. अगर आप साल में एक बार dentist के पास visit करते हैं, maybe you will get to know about a little bit of caries, some stains, which can be handled very, at a very reasonable price in a very short time and without any pain. So visiting a dentist will not create that kind of anxiety then, because it is a regular practice, because you are taking care of your teeth as a normal health protocol. So visit your dentist once in a year. This will not create any anxiety. It will be friendly, physician consultation, like the dentist consultation. So whatever the points are in, we are discussing about oral hygiene and negligence. The key, the key is, early education of mothers, highlighting the importance of gum care, teeth care, regular follow-up, and especially educating the mothers about the importance of milk teeth. अगर आप लाइफ के 5 साल अपने दांतों पे बिल्कुल ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, you are creating a bad habit example. You're not creating a habit. आप बच्चे के अंदर वो हैबिट इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहे हैं कि वो अपने दांतों का ध्यान रखे, हाइजीन का ध्यान रखे. First 5 years are very important in keeping any habit which is very important for your health as well as your oral cavity. So dental anxiety is, I think, can be reduced or can be handled more effectively when there is regular, frequent and visits to the dentist. You should not go, मतलब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि पेन होगा तो ही हम डेंटिस्ट के पास जाएंगे, है ना. एक regular checkup once in a year will cost you nothing, and it will be more fruitful in the coming years. It will create a habit. It will, and anxiety part definitely will be reduced.
That means awareness is very important. Dr. Kohli, Sir, how safe is dentistry during COVID-19 crisis?
You have raised a very, very serious question. If we go back almost 1 year back, by end of March, I'll take it during April, and there was a government notification also, certain procedures and certain specialists cannot practice. But let me start with this. There are certain things in life which happens, and you have to change your ways and way of life. Same way in dentistry, when it came the corona pandemic, so we were made to change the way we practice. I mean, by way of practice, what are the ways of infection control? What is the way of dealing with the people when this pandemic is in the society? But fortunately, I have not yet come across even a single literature where it says that somebody got corona infection from the dentist office. Now, it is going to be the way of life. You have to change the way the patient sits in your clinic, patient comes into the clinic, the way you practice, the way you cover yourself, you safeguard your staff, you safeguard the patient, you safeguard your families. So the way of practice has changed, and which has been little difficult initially because you have to work with the shield, with the mask, with the PPEs. But this is going to be the future of the dentistry. We have to keep it on for years to come, and going to the dentist is absolutely safe provided proper protocols are maintained in the dentist office and patient gives a proper history about his oxygen level, about his temperature, about his traveling, about his any family member being affected, or more than anything else, Arogya Setu. All these things are going to be the way of life, and the way of practice of dentistry has totally changed.
So true, sir. Dr. Anil Chandna, sir, my next question is from you, sir. There are electronic and manual toothbrushes which are available in the market. What do you think? What do you suggest? Which one is, better?
Shalini, if you go back, 100 years back, and even the villages, the people, practicing what they used to, neem ka datun, kikar ka datun, and even sometime they, with the soil, mitti utha ke, they, just brush your teeth, and that practice is going on from there that time. Earlier, they said if you do a neem ka datun, you have a medicinal value in that.
And it's still people who live in
and
villages,
still
they are
people
following
even
this.
coal people are using that with the namak and sarso ka tel, they do it like that. But we have a certain side effect with this. Though they do a massage, you have a better blood circulation, can maintain a better health of your gums. But you cannot clean the plaque which is deposited on the tooth surface. So that only can be cleaned by the hand brushing first. So we have a certain specific procedure to do a manual brushing. We demonstrate to our patient that how to do it, how to adapt your brush, that you have to give a circular movement clockwise, anti-clockwise, scraping and scrubbing, so that the basic purpose of the brush is to remove the plaque which is deposited above the gums and below the gum. So your bristles should go down there, the gums, and that clean the plaque so that you don't have any gum problem. So there is a specific, but I tell you, in India, I can bet you that even the 99% people don't do effective brushing. So that is one of the important things at a prevention level. If we taught to the patients at the village level or any level, if they know the exact brushing, so the plaque will not be deposited and most of the dental problem can be controlled, like the dental caries and the periodontal problem. Now you said the certain new brushes have came up. Fine, absolutely. They are also working very good. Even, so many companies have come out with that. Earlier, it was not available in India, but now it's available. And the technique is, they have incorporated everything. You have to adapt the brush to 10 to 15 degrees. They will give a clockwise movement. They'll give an anti-clockwise movement. They'll remove the plaque below the gum level. So this is what now, even what I suggest, you do a finger massage. If you go to the villages earlier after food, they do a finger massaging, just clean their gums. So you do a finger massaging. Even you can do that neem brushing, but one-time brushing is very, very important. And I suggest then you do it without paste, because paste, you are addicted to that. It gives a lot of frothing. You are not able to even, make out where the plaque is deposited. So if you do a plain brushing, just dip it in a water, you put a 1 or 2 drop of a Savlon and clean that plaque everywhere. I can bet you, even I following the same this thing, I never got any gingival problem or the periodontal problem, because you can make out where is the plaque and you can clean it with the brush. So I suggest it. You do a finger massage, you do a neem ka datun, even you do a manual brushing also. And even the new brushes, which is electronic brushes have come, you can use it that as well.
Dr. Vikendra, sir, what would be the, good tips for the dental health?
And good paste.
Good tips for good dental health.
Tips. Yeah, good for the patients and for the common people. The following things I can say that everyone should follow. So first is we have to take care of oral health, and the best and the simplest way is toothbrushing. And as you asked previously to Tana sir, that which toothbrush is better, electronic toothbrush or the manual toothbrush? So the main purpose of both the brushes is the removal of the plaque which is building in the teeth. So electronic toothbrush is usually indicated in those patients who cannot do the manual brush, right? Say someone have any disability, Parkinson's disease, or those who have any musculoskeletal disorders, or those they do not have muscle hand coordination. So in those patients, in compromised patients, those who cannot do it properly, electronic toothbrushes are usually recommended. But it is not like that. They are superior or much better in plaque removal than the manual toothbrushes. So the another important thing is how you brush your teeth. That is more important rather than which type of toothbrush you use. So there is proper brushing technique. Most of the patients which come to us, they say that they are brushing twice a day. They are brushing properly. Then why we are getting the dental problems? So the only thing is that they are doing it, but the way of doing it, that is not proper.
The
So
technique
once
should
the
be,
patient, yes,
technique is important.
Yes, the technique is important. So whosoever patient comes to our clinic and for whatsoever problem, then we should teach him or her the proper brushing technique, whether he or she asks for it or not. So first thing starts from there. That brushing technique is very important. So, then most of the dental problems will be solved out. Then another thing is regular dental checkup, because sometimes suppose there is a small cavity which starts in between the teeth and the patient will not be aware of it. Only the dentist can diagnose it once the patient comes to her for the regular dental checkup. So it is advised that everyone should visit a dentist in 6 months or a year so, right? So by this way, we can avoid and treat the dental problems if they have occurred already at the initial stages. So then another thing is in gum problems for the patients who have already developed the dental diseases like periodontitis, pyorrhea. So in those patients, they have to take extra care of their teeth, because there are the gaps which are formed between the teeth. And the patients usually say that, can't we fill these gaps? But unfortunately, we cannot fill those gaps because those gaps have been formed due to loss of the bone or the gum tissue between the teeth. So patients have to take extra care, use extra brushes other than the normal brushes, what we use. So we have to advise them the interdental brushes, because once there is food lodgement between the two teeth, there will definitely it is going to cause a cavity in that area, in the adjacent teeth. So if you advise the patient that in spite of your normal brush, you have to use the interdental brush also. So by this way, we can prevent the cavities, we can prevent the gum disease, and it will help the patient in a better oral hygiene and quality of oral health related quality of life. So I think regular dental checkup and the proper advice by the dentist, even if the patient is not having any dental problem, at regular dental checkup visits, these are the two fundamentals which should be followed.
So that's all for now, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Vikendra, Dr. Anil Kohli, Dr. Anil Chandna, and Dr. Shweta Verma for joining us on Medically Speaking and sharing so much valuable information with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shalini, can I add? You raised a very good question. What are the points to be taken up for the common man? Healthy food, fibrous food. That is number one. Avoid junk food like the frieds and colas and all that. Avoid sweets, regular checkup, and regular brushing. These 5 points, if somebody follows, this can prevent a lot of dental decay. This I'll add up to Dr. Vikesh, what he said. And second thing you raised, when the child should brush and all that, for that I'll say, when the child is not even 6 months, mother can do with the cotton swab. Now you see in the latest, when the ladies are pregnant, they are given the classes, how the pregnancy they have to go. Same way, 1 or 2 classes should be given how to take care of the children's teeth when they are born and when they grow slowly. I would like to add these things.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anil Kohli. Thank you so much for sharing this information.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.